Welcome to Pink Kink,
where we talk about the pretty, twisted side of kink.
I'm Princess Rara.
And I'm Dara, the Electro Khaleesi.
Whether you are a new kinkster or have years of experience, Pink Kink will help you level up your kink knowledge.
Join us on this journey as we talk about our personal experiences and use the knowledge we've gained over 28 years of being involved in both private and professional aspects of this lifestyle to help you explore every facet of kink.
Get set for an adventure. Not only will you learn and grow, but we promise loads of laughter, turning each episode into a fun party. So fasten your seatbelt and let's get this show started. Pink Kink runs off the generosity of our devoted patrons.
As a patron, you will become a member of our special Discord server, receive some adorable Pink Kink stickers, as well as have access to a monthly behind-the-scenes podcast. Patrons also get discounts at our Etsy shop, Pink Kink Boutique, and our online classes at Pink Kink Institute.
In addition, our impactful and electrifying Pink Kinksters get special audio and video episodes. And finally, patrons at our highest tier will be recognized as producers, both here on the podcast and on our website.
If you would like to become a patron, you can visit us at patreon.com/pinkkinkpodcast or click the link at pinkkinkpodcast.com.
Today's episode is produced by our electrifying Pink Kinksters. Thank you, Jay, Witcherman, Brianna Lynn, Daddy J, Fabe, Embers, Blossom, William P., Claire, Lady Blooding, Naughty and Nice, Butte Pain, Manda Panda, Cat, Shadow Phoenix, Brian, May Cry Devil, Ruby Riot, Mistress Velma, Enchanted Sparrow, The Wombat, Impact Hazard, Twitch, The Midnight Girl, Sinful, J21, Daisy If You Do, AK Harley Chick, Violet Rain, Serenity, Belle, Eric, Lady Affliction, Dr. Dave,
Pumpkin Pie, Ms. Tourmaline, S'more, Hacksaw, Wee Mad Beastie, To Be Better For Me, 3 a.m. Thoughts, Forest, Crash Override, Iro, Kinky Bear, Sviper No Sviping, Barbie, Navigator Bard, Frost, Sinful and Naughty, Coffee and Chaos, Noir, Mr. Pillsbury, Stitch, Peaches, Mighty Owl, Princess Sassy Pants, Lady and Lex, Chaos Monster, Hazel Page, Jessa Lady, DJ Harlow, Ophelia, Drew, Sexy Sunrise, Daddy's Pumpkin, and Birchbeard.
Well, we're kind of doing something just a teeny bit different today. I'm here and you're there.
I am here and you are there.
We are not together.
Such a tragedy. I mean, it's okay. It works out. It's just not as, what's the word I'm looking for? Interactive?
Well, it's safer for me because you can't kick me.
Am I going to kick you?
I don't know. I don't know how you're going to react to these questions.
Should I be saving my kicks for when I see you? Because I can.
That means you'd have to remember. I'm safe.
Well, that's true. That's just not going to happen. So I guess you're okay.
I'm safe. It's all good.
I won't remember by tomorrow. I think you're good.
You won't remember by the time we're done with the recording.
Okay, I am not that bad. It takes at least one sleep for me to not remember something. Give me a break here.
No, we have to get you a remember all.
Oh, that'd be so cool. No, those things are useless. It's like you. What are you supposed to remember? It reminds you that you forgot something, but it doesn't tell you what you remember. If it had little words that showed up, hey, you forgot, that'd be fine.
That's true.
It should be like a remember note.
Right? It's like when you walk into a room and you're standing there going, okay, I've walked in here for a reason. What is that reason? Like, you walked in there with a purpose. You just don't remember what it is.
Exactly.
But
that happens apparently because door frames are magical and they wipe your memory immediately.
Oh, I didn't know that. That explains so much.
It's door frame theory.
Oh, I can get behind door frame theory. But it's been crazy hectic. Like, it seems between now and in recording world, the end of September, I don't know what it's going to mean in actual release of the episode world. I'm swamped every weekend. I just came back from last weekend. I got to teach at Studio 58's Naughty Knowledge, and I taught out of a 4-class schedule. I taught 3. So there were 4 time zones for teaching, and I taught 3 classes.
Oh, geez.
But I mean, it was one of the best times I've ever had because in every class, everybody came in with an open mind and eager to learn. And
that's the best.
They all walked away. Yep, they walked away having learned something. I walked away having learned more too. And I'll do what I always do, and I'll go back through my class notes and polish them up a little bit more. But there's just something really special being at one of these kink events where you can be surrounded by people like you. Even though you might have completely different kinks, completely different interests, you're still all kinky. And you can ask for advice. You can, I had people talking to me about different things that they wanted to try. I broke somebody's needle cherry. I had an amazing impact scene with Naughty and Nice where we had an audience, an actual audience. Like people pulled up chairs and sat down and watched the scene and then proceeded to be the absolute best peanut gallery you could ever ask for in an impact scene. So it was absolutely amazing. And I sort of feel that the connection with this week's episode is that a lot of these people we're about to talk about could use something like this. Because what we're doing is one of, I know, people's favorite things to do. We haven't done this in a while, and that is answer Reddit questions about BDSM. And I just feel a lot of the questions that I came across were from people who, if they just could find a kink community, even if it was just going to a vanilla munch or finding some kink friends to talk to, that maybe they wouldn't need to reach out to perfect strangers on the internet to ask their advice and opinions because they would have a group that they could talk to. Because some of the ones that I hopefully didn't pick those ones where, it was a lot of, I'm reading it and I'm going, well, duh, right? Like obvious.
There's a lot of those always.
And I just feel like if I could just get them to come to some sort of kink event, that would solve so many of their problems. But all we can do is answer their questions here. And hopefully I picked some good ones. I'm not sure if I picked any that will get Dora on a rant and rave, but if I'm lucky, they will. And so, just because people like it. And then some of these were recommended by our wonderful patrons. We ask that if they come across any ones that they would like us to do on this episode. Some I just found. It was a combination of BDSM advice, the subreddit BDSM community, and then, of course, our subreddit, BDSM, Am I the Asshole?
The answer is usually yes.
Usually. So it'll be interesting. All right, you ready to get doing this? I've got like 6 or 7, so we'll see if we can get them all, and if not, we'll save them for another one.
Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
I'll start. This first one's actually a little bit sad.
Yeah, I read the first sentence and I was like, aw, shit.
Yeah. It starts off, my Dom passed away this past week. Need advice on his belongings. Firstly, this is my first post, so I hope this is the right place to ask what I'm about to ask. Also would like to state how very painful and difficult it is to type all of this out and not have an emotional breakdown by reliving it. My Dom had a massive heart attack this past week and unfortunately passed away shortly thereafter. For reference, we have been in a DS dynamic for almost 4 months, and yes, I understand that's a short time, but I genuinely and deeply cared about him, whether it was in or out of the dynamic. He was the one who helped me feel more confident with my body, and he also made me feel desirable again. But I digress. Sorry if I give out information that's unrelated to this post. The main reason for this post is he kept all of his equipment and toys hidden in a black container in case he had visitors. His best friend, only one who knew about his kink, was instructed to retrieve that container if anything were to happen to him. So he called me earlier and asked if there was anything I wanted to keep before he disposes the rest of it. I was collared by my Dom, which came with matching wrist restraints. My question is, should I retrieve those specific items, or would it be disrespectful to my Dom? Or would it be smarter to let them go so I don't grow an unhealthy attachment to them, which may or may not increase my grief and depression? He's the first to ever collar me, and I'm torn because it's a reminder of him and how safe I felt with him. They were also custom made, so I figured it would be a waste to throw out. Anyway, I hope I gave enough information without going off topic. It's a habit of mine, so I'm asking to please have some compassion and not criticize too much on what or how I wrote, I just had a huge loss. I don't want my emotions to increase any more than they already have. My heart hurts and I don't know how I will be able to move on from this.
That's so sad.
It is sad. And it's actually, look, I joke that I am now getting of an age where I need to start making plans. And the running joke is that Dara is in charge of the toys and I want her to disperse them to people and give them as gifts to people so that they can have memories of me and then continue to use the toys with love.
Well, I'm sure it's not taking any of them.
There might be something you would like.
They're
like
all
my stuffies,
baby
maybe.
Toys and needles. Oh, yeah. No,
what
I'll
about
take
my
your
stuffies?
Right. Yeah. No, they need to go to good homes and be adopted. We'll have an adoption event.
Right. And I've laughed. I've told my son he is to let Dar know, God forbid something should happen. He's to let Dar know that happened and knows that Dar's going to come over and distribute it. So I'm glad that her Dom had a plan in place. And that was really good. But this is one of those questions where there's not necessarily an answer. Should she hold on to them? Should she give them away? That is such a personal choice. Like when Voldemort and I broke up, I had my custom made collar and it came with a collar and a leash and wrist and ankle cuffs. And I kept them because they were quality. Now I don't wear them because for me, putting them on me doesn't work, but I use them for other people. If I'm putting somebody on a St. Andrew's cross, I'll use those cuffs on them because then if they get ruined, I don't necessarily care as much. But I also, this is not a case of he died.
Yeah. So, and it's not a case of, you have the love still there. And honestly, I say keep them. I would want the reminder, I would want to be able to, I think I would regret less taking them and keeping them than I would giving them up.
Yeah, I agree with that. Even if you never wear them again.
Exactly. You can always put them away in a special place and take them out every once in a while. Or even if you never look at them again, if you give them away and then and you want to see them later and you don't have them, that's going to hurt worse. And over time, you'll probably look at them less and less, but they were custom made for you. I wouldn't want anybody else to use them. Those are mine.
It's similar to when, let's say your spouse passes away and what do you do with the wedding set? And do you keep it? Do you continue to wear it? Do you not wear it? That's such a personal thing. But I think, Dari, you nailed it, that you'll have much more regret if you let it go, if you get rid of it, than if you just hold on to it somewhere. And I don't think she necessarily needs to worry about becoming unnaturally attached. My guess is this is not something that she can wear out in everyday vanilla world.
No.
So it'll force her to put it away and not have it on all the time. I remember the first time that I went to the dungeon after Voldemort and I broke up. And for the first time, I had difficulty getting naked because I wasn't putting on the collar. And that collar for me represented a safety net. Like I was collared, I had my dom with me, nobody would bother me if I'm sitting there naked wearing this collar. And so all of a sudden I had to get naked without the collar on. And I remember I had my friend who was with me, who I was like, let me just put the collar on just so I can get naked. And he's like, no, you can't do that. You need to get naked,
rip off the Band-Aid
collar and rip off the Band-Aid. And I'm so grateful that he did that. So maybe you just kind of have a friend, and whether it be the friend that you shared with him or another close friend who can be that person for you to say to you at some point, like, this has gone on long enough. You're strong. You could do this. Rip off that Band-Aid.
Yeah, that one's really sad. But again, you're right. It's a personal choice. And the other thing is sometimes people gift wedding ring sets from the dead spouse. They gift them to somebody to use, like giving it to their grandchild or their son. I know there's not really a kink equivalent to that, but maybe give it to somebody special. I don't know if you want to get rid of them like that later, but I would keep them first.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one. All right, Now we go from sad to angry. So I'll let Dar do the angry one.
Oh, good. Let me put my angry eyes. Okay. Well, love the first sentence. Was already great. Wow. Someone entered my support group on a leash. Okay. Hi, y'all. I've been into kink stuff for a while, but haven't really been part of the community in my area. Lately, I've been attending a support group unrelated to kink, and it's been pretty neat. Unfortunately, last week, a couple of new members came. Obviously, a dom and a sub, with the dominant partner holding her sub's leash the whole time she was there. At first, we didn't notice since they kept very close the whole evening, but then it became apparent. I talked to some people and the organizer, and the majority agree that it's either weird or basically unethical and triggering. The organizer told me they'll talk to them next time. Well, this week they came back and nothing was done. Some people avoided them. There was a lot more people this time, and that was kind of it. I got really upset and told the organizer again, and they said we will have a discussion about it next week. And I kind of felt ignored. Am I exaggerating the problem? I really want to hang out with some of the people there, but I don't want to be a part of these people's kink play, even though I'm into BDSM myself. It feels kind of violating, especially in a support group. What would you do with this? Am I right to feel upset? Please give me some advice and your perspective. Whew!
Go for it. Let it rip. You know you want to.
Oh dear. Yeah, no, you're not overreacting. Holy fucking shit. I've been in BDSM and kink for over 20 years. This would piss me the fuck off. Didn't we just hear something the other day about some people at a very public munch at a family restaurant going in like full on kink gear and leashes and everything?
I think so.
And then another person taking pictures at a munch and posting them. Like, fucking no. This is kind of on the same level for me. It's a support group. If it's not a support group for kinksters, don't dress like that. Don't do that. Number one thing in kink is consent. We do this all the time. If you have not gotten consent from everyone in the area to do your public kink, don't do it.
It's that simple. My question is, I'd like to know where the leash was. And the reason I ask this is I think I've shared this before, but for those of you fools who listen out of order, I'll mention it again.
Oh,
we had a situation at my munch pre-pandemic, so it's been quite a while. I had to pull aside a dom and their sub and talk to them because they did have on a leash. The leash was on her pussy lips. And it came out from between her legs and up. And they thought because they were sitting at a table and sitting down, nobody could see it. But these tables didn't have tablecloths. And I could see underneath the table because I was sitting at the table across from them. I was short enough to be able to see. And I had to, I literally sent the woman to the bathroom to unhook. I wouldn't even let her unhook it right there. I made her take her leash, hold it, and go to the bathroom and unhook it and come back and said, yeah, you can't do that. And we were at a munch. But guess what? The wait staff didn't consent to any of that shit. And I still don't know how they got into our private room because they had to walk through the church group that also met in the restaurant that night.
What the fuck?
We used to think that was so funny and ironic. We loved it. That you would walk through the church group to the private room where the kink munch was. There's a time and a place for everything. It's like, so our Littles munch, right? We tell people, you want to bring stuffies, you want to bring coloring books and crayons, that's fine.
Which we did.
Okay? That's not the adult stuffies, adult coloring books. It's kind of a thing right now. It's not an issue. But we ask, you're not coming in bibs and bottles and pacifiers. That's going to just stand out like a sore thumb. You can't do that. We have to really be careful. Do I wish we lived in a world where we could do whatever the fuck we wanted? Sure. Then I wouldn't ever have to fucking wear a bra again. And when it's 100 degrees outside, I could be pretty much naked.
I was going to say, you don't want to wear clothes.
Just not how our world works. So you have to be aware of what you're doing. And this would be bad enough because they're walking into this group and who knows who they're walking past, but it's not even a kink related group. So it's just not cool. And it doesn't make you some super awesome special kinksters because you have a collar and a leash. It makes you toxic and problematic.
I wonder, like, what kind of support groups would there be for kinksters?
There is a, like an Alcoholics Anonymous specifically for kinksters.
Okay, see, and then that would be fine. I almost feel like that would be fine if it's only for kinksters. And even then, I would probably still get permission.
Well, I know, for instance, they tend to have like at a Naughty Knowledge where I was at. Anytime you have a convention like that with big people where there would be access to addictive substances, they tend to have a meeting a day for these. It's called Riddle. Recovery.
Well,
it's RITL, Recovery in the Lifestyle.
But when you're at a convention, it's kind of assumed that you're going to have people dressed kinky. So that 100% would normally, like if you're going to the support group there at a convention, it's kind of duh, people are going to dress kinky and do all of that. But if you're like at that, but it's not at a convention, it's just like a weekly meeting or something, then it's probably not.
Yeah. And even the conventions all have rules, right? Like Winterfire had a rule, not in the lobby.
Right.
Naughty Knowledge has a rule. They set up a screen between the lobby of the hotel and the hallways. So once you get past the screen, you could be naked. So you could be walking through the hallway of the hotel being totally naked, but you can't be naked in the lobby. You have to be vanilla-ish in the lobby. They're not going to worry as much if you're wearing a collar and a leash if you're completely dressed.
Well,
but
so
it's a hotel takeover. So
is collars have become like chokers. They've become like a fashion thing with people. And then as well, harnesses. I see harnesses under business attire.
Yeah, it's just there's a time and a place, and be respectful and remember consent. It's just that simple. And
I got a new harness from Torrid.
Oh, nice.
Like mainstream places are now selling it, and I'm like, oh, this one fits. It goes over my boobs.
Listen, somebody just asked me today where they could get some like kinky clothes, and I sent them to like Temu and Shine.
No, Shein. But Torrid.
Torrid has
shit you not.
Yeah, but I can't wear Torrid.
No, you're too short.
I'm too little. It's just ridiculous. Even their shoes like don't even start until size 7.
Listen,
and I'm not that big of a foot. So
listen, I bought a pair of shoes. I bought like these loafers from them the other day in my usual size, and I tried them on when they arrived, and I'm just like, what the actual fuck is happening? I went and returned them, and they were like, yeah, every shoe in Torrid is like wide foot. So if you don't have wide feet, you have to size down a couple of sizes. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, when did that happen? I have heels from Torrid. I guess I've just never bought loafers.
I used to go into like Lane Bryant to buy bras because they had the right cup size.
I did that 2 days ago.
But the bandwidth was never right. It was all too big. And they said, well, you can buy it online. They would have the smaller bandwidths online. But I'm like, I need to try them on. I can't just order online, and I didn't want to deal with it. So I'm absolutely glad that place like Torrid exists. I mean, some of their clothes are just spectacular and gorgeous.
Expensive,
but beautiful. So, all right.
Well, so Lane Bryant, the other day I went in and they had exactly 2 bras in the entire store that were my new size. So I bought them, and then I came home and I ordered like 6 more.
There you go.
Because they had a BOGO. Anyway.
All right, you ready to get angrier?
Angrier.
What can I do when I suspect my dom is married?
Break up.
I Well, we're going to, just when you hear the ages of these people, you ready?
Oh, I'm not looking.
19 female, got into a monogamous relationship with my dom, 31 male.
Done, gone, out, bye-bye. Okay, it'd be worse if it was 50-something, because we've seen that, but no.
I saw somebody post that they super excited to see their girlfriend, the one who's 24 years younger than them. Anyway, when I finish reading this, I'll share my concerns with the age gap. And it's not the age gap itself, but it's this particular age gap. So got into a monogamous relationship with my dom, 31 male, for about half month. We get along very well, and up till now, I feel he is such a good dom. It is my first DS relationship. Ding, 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 ding. So I'm still kind of confused about the relationship boundary setting. I asked him last week about why he didn't bring me to his home, and he replied he doesn't want to bring the kinky stuffs into his home since he thinks it's his own private space. I felt understanding while hearing him say that, but now I feel things are getting weird. I realized he only has voice call with me while he is driving instead of when he stays at home. And we go out once a week, and the most recent 2 times were in the hotels. All were in the daytime. One was 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. Another one was 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And he also hasn't told me his legal name. Ding, 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 red flag. And when I asked him about his job, he always described everything vaguely. There are also a bunch of details like these that can be regarded as evidence. At first, I thought it's probably nothing. I'm overreacting. He doesn't trust me enough yet, or is he still observing if I'm the right one? Now I feel we're more intimate than ever before, but he still doesn't have any changes. I asked him if he is married today, and he said, no, he is single. I don't know if I can trust him, and also don't know the things that he doesn't want me to know because of the different boundaries setting in different individuals. Should I ask him in a more formal way and ask him to bring me to his house? And if he won't, I'll end the relationship. I don't know if it's sensible enough to solve my suspicions. I'm also afraid of the emotional damage after I end this relationship, since I really like him and rely on him now. Obviously, English is not this first language based upon. Does anyone can give me advices? Is my suspicion, are my overthinking, or reasonable? Thank you.
Okay, I have a problem.
Yeah.
Who the fuck says half month instead of 2 weeks?
The same person who's worried that in those half month that they might have emotional damage if they end the relationship?
Yeah, 2 fucking weeks, please.
Okay, this is why the age gap is concerning. At 19 years old, when she's never been in a DS relationship before, means she is a blank slate. She has no experience. She has no background or anything. And somehow this 31-year-old male is going to come in and teach her. That's why that kind of age gap concerns me. It's not a maturity or an immaturity level. I've met very mature 19-year-olds and very immature 31-year-olds. This screams predator.
Yeah, big time.
Okay? I mean, not letting him, and it also, she's right, he's married. He's got to be married.
He's absolutely married.
Or he lives with his mother. Either one is not good.
Yeah, either one is a red flag and you need to run because that has serial killer vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a no.
It's the only meeting in the daytime, never coming to your house, never coming to the house, meeting in
not
hotels.
Knowing the real name.
Okay.
Sorry. No. Unless you're like random play partners that meet up at the club, every once in a while. That I could see not knowing names. I know plenty of people that I've seen with that I don't know their actual name. But if you're in a relationship with someone, no.
Yeah, I don't fuck you if I don't know your real first name. I don't have to necessarily know your last name because I am a slut, but I need to know your first name.
I actually said, I think to Daddy J that I needed his full legal name. I had the address and I had his phone number, and I sent that all to at least two people.
I had it.
But yeah, well, you were one of the people that I sent it to before I went on the first date. So,
I mean, here's another question. Obviously, you're fucking each other, right? We haven't discussed, whether they have any conditions, illnesses, STIs. Like, what has been discussed.
What if they're on the sex offender registry?
Right? It's like the fact that she has to think about this concerns me. It means she's the perfect victim. So I guess well done to him for finding the perfect victim.
They always do.
They're very good at it.
It's like they have a sniffer about it.
Yeah. That was Voldemort's biggest mistake. He thought he'd had the perfect victim with me, and he was wrong.
Well, that kind of bit him in the ass, didn't it?
Yeah, very harshly. I want to take this girl and wrap her up in bubble wrap and put her away until she grows up a little bit more. Because the fact that she has to come on to Reddit and ask for advice without just knowing this is bad is very concerning. And I feel bad. You know, I feel like if I'd had this conversation with my daughter, I'd be like, you try to be delicate, but sweetheart, 2 weeks, you'll be fine. You're really going to be fine. I promise you.
That's delicate.
That's as delicate as I can be in that situation. But that's also because I would have raised my daughter better. My daughter probably wouldn't sleep with anybody without knowing their social security number. So it's all good.
Well, considering your daughter's choice of careers,
she's going to cybersecurity. Like she would be running a background check. My girl, seriously. I'm proud of her. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that. I've run background checks on people.
No, your child is going to be like demonic.
Yeah.
About screening people.
Right. And I don't think you need to give him an ultimatum. I think you just need to end this. This is, I'm going to ask you one more time. And if you don't tell me the truth, like he's already trying to lie to you.
Yeah. How would you know if it was the truth, even if he told you at this point?
And what happens if he says, you're right, you caught me, I am married? Did it sound like she was planning on walking away if that was the answer?
I don't know.
Not really.
Yeah.
So, here's what I always tell people. If you have to question, is this normal? The answer is it is not normal. And your gut is telling you it's not normal, and you don't have to ask strangers on the internet. You know it's not normal. And listen. So, yeah. Bad, fake, bad predator, bad boy.
That'll teach him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you tell him. Because that's going to stop a predator, you bad boy.
Yeah. Be afraid.
They're going to be like, ooh, I'm a bad boy. Okay. Tell me again.
I scary.
Yep. Oh my God. Okay. I saw a TikTok the other day of this cutesy little short pink fairy person.
Oh, me? You saw my TikTok? Oh,
yeah. Sorry. Yes, I did. And they were at a con and they were just walking, and it was that noise.
Mm-hmm.
And then behind them was their goth friend holding some sort of like gigantic weapon thing.
Oh.
You know, and it was like the more intense version. I was like, oh, me and Rara.
Yeah. But I am scary. People just aren't smart enough to know they should be scared.
You're not scary right away.
What makes me scary is you don't think I'm scary. That's why you have to be afraid.
Sneak attack, SWAT scary.
Yep. I'll hit him low because that's all I can reach.
But you're scary with permission. That's all I can reach. You're an ankle biter.
Yep. I reach what I can grab. That's much easier.
Ooh, which is cojones.
Yep. Which is why you should be very afraid of me.
All right. Moving on before we lose our shit. Too late.
That assumes we ever had it.
Shit?
Yeah.
Oh, if we didn't, we'd have problems.
That's true. You should be shitting regularly. It's important.
I was like, isn't that like a medical issue if you don't shit?
That is so far beyond our area of expertise. Yes. Sick medical advice. We don't even play a doctor on TV. So just...
I watch them on TV. Doesn't that mean that I qualify?
Listen, do you know how many times I use the knowledge that I have gained through years of watching the People's Court to give legal advice?
I'm pretty sure I did that in a work meeting today because what is it? Don't people have to have a subpoena in order to get your cell phone records, but it's possible, like even if you wipe your phone, you can still get a subpoena from the court.
Yeah.
Right. And go to like Verizon or something. And I swear that came up at a work meeting today. And I was like, look, I saw Law and Order. You have to get a subpoena.
Listen, I always quote, I said, as Judge Judy says, if it doesn't make sense, it must not be true. That's all I'm saying. All hail Judge Judy, the great Judge Judy.
We need to move on.
Okay, sorry, go on. Your turn. Turn.
This is like so far beyond. We're dead. Where are we? I don't even know. Okay, is this one? Okay.
Yes, that one.
Ugh. I'm so glad you know which one I'm talking about.
Well, it does because it shows up on my computer screen.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. I clicked on the thing.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay, I'm awake. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Why do I only drop the morning after having fun? Well, I can give you that answer right now.
Well, finish reading.
I know. I like commenting, okay?
All right.
It's how I read things.
Okay.
I, female 31, am decently experienced in the world of fun that BDSM and the dynamics it has to offer. But for all my years of playing around and getting to know myself, I find myself absolutely stumped on this one. I identify as a brat, which to me means that I get to sass, mouth off, and get myself into trouble. I had moments where I had more of a submissive streak, but I never fully slipped into subspace before I met my current dom. While this has both been tricky and incredibly satisfying, I find myself in a pickle every time I wake up the morning after having fun. I like that. Pickle. Don't get me wrong, he is amazing and will not hang up long distance until I have signaled that I am completely okay. His aftercare is on point and we communicate well. Now, the issue is that I keep riding that high well into falling asleep and only drop when I wake back up. The issue with that is we both have lives full of responsibilities to tend to, and I find myself opting to power through it over asking him to tend to me, as with work, kids, and other nonsense. I love how work and kids are nonsense. That simply isn't
yes,
an
they
option
are.
For either.
What's your point?
Your children are nonsense?
Have you met my kids?
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
They are kind of nonsensical. That simply isn't an option for either of us at that point in the day. Logistics aside, I do not like this. I wake up feeling emotional and needy in a way I do not enjoy feeling and catch myself craving reassurance that rational me would not need. I'm physically completely fine, but emotionally I'm craving things that are quite literally impossible for me to get at that point of the day sometimes. Well, rarely. It takes every bit of willpower I have to snap into the mindset I need to get shit done. I have attempted to negate these things by taking care of myself. Rereading the assuring messages he sends me during the day, has sent me in the past, going for some exercise, or having food I like. None of it seems to scratch that itch. Any input, especially on self-care, is welcomed, as I like starting off my days with the person that I am, strong and confident. So this is a tough one. That's complicated as fuck.
That's all you got?
So?
No, I got thoughts.
I'm letting you go
okay.
because honestly, I've been in that situation. It sucks.
Okay. So here are a couple things. Number one, aftercare is not a guarantee you won't drop. And I think way too many people rely on the idea that aftercare will prevent you from dropping. So they figure as long as they do aftercare and do good, solid aftercare, they're safe. And then you run into this problem where she says his aftercare is on point, and yet she's still dropping the next day. So here's what you need to do. You need to reconfigure your aftercare. And you now need to include some aftercare parts that are happening the next day. So maybe it means the day after a scene, you and he are getting up 30 minutes early and having a 30-minute phone call that morning where you can touch base. Because it sounds right like they don't live together. Is that the impression you get?
It says long distance.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
So setting that up, making sure you said that the assuring messages he sends during the day. Okay. Make that an aftercare rule that he must send assuring messages throughout the day and at particular times. So maybe, you need to, if he's ahead of you in time, you need to wake up to an assuring message from him. You need to have one at 11 o'clock. You need to have one at 3 o'clock and then at 5 o'clock, right? Just figure it out. Maybe there needs to be other things that become part of your aftercare routine, but they're happening on the day after. And it might be that when you're scheduling playtime, you are making sure what's happening the next day. So for example, if you know that the next day you have a really big important meeting that you have to be on top of your game, then you don't do a scene the night before because you're going to drop the next day. You can't really prevent the drop. What you can do is
mitigate it a little.
Not even necessarily mitigate it, but deal with it and how you deal with it. Maybe you have special treats in your desk at work that you can pull from, or you pack. If you know you're going to scene the next day, then you pack your favorite naughty lunch that isn't necessarily healthy, but it makes you feel happy. And that's the lunch you're going to pack and take to have at work. You just need to find those things and start to include them in your aftercare. And it is absolutely 100% reasonable and valid to have him participate in the aftercare that's happening the next day after the scene and not just the day of the scene.
So 2 things that I want to tack on to what you said. I don't think people also realize that aftercare does not necessarily mean immediately after scene. For me, sometimes it takes 2 or 3 days before I drop. So my aftercare would have to be well after the scene. And I did have somebody check on me 2 or 3 days after. But the first time this happened, neither one of us knew that it would take me 3 days. I was literally high for 3 days on this one scene. And my partner at the time was just also long distance, literally from here to Korea. So very long distance, 14-hour time difference. Had no idea because our communication was via text during the day. So it was really, really difficult to communicate all of that. And then the other thing is aftercare is a lot to do with biology and your body chemicals. And we've said this multiple times. It's not even going to be that you can offset your drop by doing the same thing every time. It's going to be different a lot of the time. Something that you did previously to help might not work this next time. It's a lot. Drop is a lot.
Yeah. I'm also somebody who, if I drop, it's usually up a couple days later. I ride that high for a couple days. I had a friend who, when negotiating her aftercare, one of the things that she required for her aftercare is you need to check in with me by phone for every day after the scene up to 3 days. So if we scened on Saturday, you need to check in with me by phone on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Yeah, that sounds about right. If you know, then put that in your negotiation. Bro, really quick, how long does it take? Do you drop after a munch? Because I know you get super duper high from them.
I have been known to drop after a munch because it's the same thing. If you think about it, it's the endorphins. As somebody who's an extrovert, being around all these people and talking and the energy. I mean, I'm sucking the energy out of all of you. You all are going to go home and collapse because you're all exhausted. And I'm going
because Rara sucked all the energy out of us?
All the energy out of you. And I'm an energy vampire. And I will be bouncing off walls all night long. And then I stay up too late, which doesn't help for me. If I don't get enough sleep, that kind of exacerbates the problem. And because then I'm tired. My drop usually just means I end up crying at the drop of a hat. And not even from things that you wouldn't cry. I'm already a crier. and I cry happy tears. It just have to be sad. I could be reading a book. Oh my God, they love each other. I'm crying now. It doesn't have to, oh my God, the Folgers commercials when they'd come downstairs.
Yes!
Oh, they killed me. They fucking killed me. I mean, you made me cry this morning with the TikTok of Doug Emhoff as a child growing up.
Fucking 5:30 in the morning, and I was already sobbing. I was literally holding my coffee, walking up the stairs, crying.
I don't think a day goes by where there isn't a TikTok video that makes me cry. Fuck you all. So it's
welcome.
not that I don't cry all the time, and I just cry like more after an event.
Yeah, it's just worse.
It's just worse. It's like stuff that maybe only would make me teary-eye will now make me actually full out cry.
Well, after the last risque, when I was literally dropping at your house, did you see how close I came to just bawling at the table? I was unwell.
Yeah. So that's why I think it's important when you plan your scenes that you take your schedule into account and know that if you're going to be able to deal with drop the next day, or if it's just not a good day for you to be maybe off your game.
Yeah, maybe don't play on a work night, perhaps?
Yeah. Or do it on a Friday night,
Yeah. And
Okay.
then you have 2 days to chill.
I'm excited about this one. I haven't even read the whole thing. Just I got the title alone grabbed my attention.
I read this one when it was on Reddit. This was on
Was this our Reddit?
No, it was on the best of Reddit updates.
Oh, okay. Am I the asshole for having the threesome I wanted? As somebody who has had the threesome they wanted, I'm leaning no, but I need to read the rest of this. Last year, I was out with my partner and a friend having drinks at a kink event. Out of the blue, my partner started having sex with our friend. They invited me to join, and I went along with it, even though it wasn't the type of threesome I'd been hoping for. My partner promised that we'd have that kind of threesome I wanted another time, so I didn't push back. This past Saturday, after some drinks and a game of Uno, the same thing happened. This time with a different
Uno is
friend.
hot.
It's sexy shit, man. It's an aphrodisiac. This time with a different friend. The same dynamic played out, but this time I didn't feel comfortable. I whispered to my partner that I wasn't okay with it as they were getting undressed, but things went ahead anyway. Ooh, problem.
Yeah.
I felt awful that night when we were finally alone. I wanted to have sex to reconnect, but my partner said they weren't feeling well. After that, I started having panic attacks and couldn't sleep. I realized that I was dealing with jealousy and envy. I talked to my partner about how I was feeling and asked if we could work things out. We did, and we ended up having sex, which helped me feel better. I finally got some sleep, but my partner left before sunrise and all the negative feelings came rushing back. I tried to talk to my partner again and admitted how I was feeling, but during that conversation, they told me that I was choosing to be miserable and suggested I get counseling. That made me really angry. I deleted their contact and cut ties with the friends who had slept with them. I started drinking a lot and barely slept for days. Eventually, I decided to stop relying on my partner for validation and focus on myself. I went out and had sex with 2 other friends, finally getting the threesome I wanted. I don't like keeping secrets, so I told my partner. They got mad and accused me of being petty, saying I only did it to hurt them and get even. Now I'm left questioning myself. In some ways, I feel vindicated, but in others, I'm unsure if I did the right thing. The panic attacks and insomnia are no more. Am I the asshole for pursuing the threesome I wanted without them? I still feel no, you weren't.
So I feel yes, you were.
See, this is where I'm confused because they said they deleted their contact and cut ties with the friends who had slept with them. So is it just the friends, but they were still with their partner?
Yes.
Okay.
So they cheated.
Did they cheat anymore?
Listen, everybody cheated. Everybody in this situation fucking cheated. Everybody's an asshole. Let's see. It says, because they're still referring to them as their partner. Where is it? I tried to talk to my partner during the conversation and told me I was choosing to be miserable. Fucking asshole. Go fuck off.
Right? But they were told, they were told point blank, I didn't feel comfortable. And their partner did it anyway.
Right. So that's cheating and abusive and all kinds of consent violating and douchey. But right here, I deleted their contact and cut ties with the friends who had slept with them. I'm not entirely sure, actually, if that means deleted the partner's contact. Because it then says, eventually, I decided to stop relying on my partner for validation, which means they were still partners?
This is what confused me too. So that's why I was like leaning toward, you're not the asshole. The reason that I think they're not the asshole is, as far as I'm concerned, this relationship was over. Though nobody actually used those words.
Right.
So,
but is this a situation of Ross and Rachel, we were on a break or not on a break? I don't like this.
Okay,
is so
they were on a break. Can
Which one? Ross and Rachel?
Can we just let the record reflect they were on a break?
Yeah, no, that relationship was the most fucked up thing I've ever seen on television.
Okay, they were on a break. That's my final answer.
Also, Ross is a douche monkey.
Yeah, she could have done better.
Way better. Honestly, I think she should have gone with Joey.
How you doing?
Anyway, I just think everybody in this situation is an asshole. Nobody consented to anything. And the person who just went and got the threesome, while that's awesome and good for you, was still kind of petty about it.
Okay, but I don't think they were. I agree they were being petty, but I don't put it into asshole category. And my reason is that the partner did what they wanted to do without consent from them.
Yeah, that was bullshit.
So that's exactly what they did. They just did exactly what their partner did, which was do what they wanted to do without consent.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that this is mature. I'm just saying I don't know, but two rights make a left turn. But I do see that
Rah-rah.
Dara.
Rah-rah.
Dara.
My God. Okay. Just gonna sit here.
Can I continue?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Now that I've stumped you, left you not quite knowing what to say. It's not often I can make you speechless, so I'm going to mark this date down.
No, I'm just nope, not touching that one. Two rights make a left turn. They make two rights.
I think once again our views are generational. In the fact that I'm not saying that they necessarily did the right thing, I just don't think they were an asshole.
I think it's just unclear. If you're still partnering and you go ahead and do that, that's a situation where you're both an asshole. But it's not clear if they were still partners.
But it also sounds like they have an open relationship.
I don't know. I think everybody's an asshole in this situation.
I mean, they're having, it seems obviously if they're having sex with other people, that they're in some type of an open relationship. Right?
The first one clearly wasn't consensual, though, because it was like I was uncomfortable and they did it anyway.
That was the second one. That was the second time.
Well,
the first one they said they went along with it, even though it wasn't the type of threesome they'd wanted, which also I want to know what kind of threesome did they want, since there's literally no genders here. So I don't know if that was the issue.
I'm trying to figure out who's who and what's happening. Like, what's the plan? What kind of threesome did you want exactly?
Right? Was it there were disproportionate number of, penises versus vaginas? Because what was that part of the problem? Because I find a lot of times, and I've seen this happen in poly relationships, where the male identifying partner is totally okay with opening up their relationship because they want more pussy. But the minute that their female partner finds another guy, all of a sudden they got issues.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's playing into this.
Something tells me that this is a dude, because I feel like the reactions are dude-like, but then what was that line? Hold on, talk to my partner again. During that conversation, they told me I was choosing to be miserable and suggested I get counseling. Like, this is going to come across incredibly sexist, but that's kind of a girl response, a defensive girl response.
Oh, see, to me, it's the opposite. To me, that comes across.
Curious.
To me, that comes across as a guy once again telling a girl, "You're too emotional, honey. You're too emotional. You should get some counseling. See, it just goes to show you that everybody looks at things from different angles. So that's fascinating.
And nobody looks at things from different angles more than you and me.
Yes. I don't think that they necessarily did the right thing. I just don't know if it reached asshole status. It might be pre-asshole status.
Pre-asshole?
Yes.
What is a pre-asshole, pray tell?
Where you're just not quite over the line into assholery.
Ah. I don't live in that kind of world. I fling the word asshole around pretty nonchalantly.
I'm not fascinated with assholes, so I try not to think about.
You're an asshole. You're an asshole. You're an asshole.
Yeah, no, I try not to think about assholes. After two husbands and a Voldemort, I've had more than my fair share of assholes. So I'd really rather not. Okay, the next one I picked, and it is your turn, but I'm just going to say this one fascinated me because I may end up getting myself in trouble here with my thoughts on this one. And I thought I'll take one for the podcast, but go ahead.
Am I the asshole for being uncomfortable about my boyfriend's sexuality? I'm already twitching. So it's not exactly what it sounds like. There's a ton of different circumstances involved. I want to post an Am I the Asshole relationships, but didn't know if it was allowed, so here goes. A couple of years ago, I met the most beautiful person I've ever laid eyes on. He was super quiet, but super cool and polite. We met up one day and walked back to his house, and I never left. Well, we've had ups and downs, but overall have been pretty great. One day, we got to talking, and he told me he thinks he's bisexual. I just kind of shrugged it off because he's never been sexually involved with a man, and his search history has only ever been women. Doesn't mean shit. But a few days ago, we got to talking, and he said he basically likes guys a bit more than I thought, telling me he had gotten oral from a guy he had a crush on years prior to meeting me. It kind of made my stomach turn. I'm all for it. If you're part of the LGBT, it's all good. A lot of my friends are. But it's just not my type to be in a relationship with a man who likes men. Let me explain. I've always loved dominant men, and it allows me to be fully feminine and just let that flourish. For the last 2 years, I've felt like the dominant. I just don't feel exactly comfortable with someone I desperately try to look at as the leader to me. Wait, what? Okay, she's trying to look at him as the leader. Okay. And imagine a guy pinning him, if you know what I mean. I should also mention that his best friend is a gay man, and I've caught him looking at my boyfriend in odd ways as well as other people.
Oh, really?
He has been obsessive over him in the past. What makes everything kind of more difficult is that today he asked me to peg him. Yes! Why is this a problem? We've done this sort of thing before, so I didn't mind it at first when it was just me licking his behind or anything. When he asked me to do that, though, I started to...
Sorry. Rah-rah. Why would I want to lick somebody's behind? I know what comes... I've been married. I have 2 sons. I know what comes out of their butts. No, thank you.
Miss Ma'am, don't yuck someone's yum, especially the someone who's sitting right in front of you.
No, I'm saying you get to do you, boo. Just don't expect me to do it.
Okay, look, if they don't want to do it and they're pressured into it, that's a problem. But if they're just asked and then you say no, it's like, all right, what's the problem? It has been a few weeks since we've done even anything either. To me, he was picking that over me, so I cried. I feel so terrible and I want so badly to move past it because he is the moon and the stars in my eyes. How very Khal Drogo of you. But the thought of him with a man won't leave my mind. Am I the asshole for thinking this? Jesus Christ. There's a lot here. You're not the asshole for having feelings. You're kind of an asshole for crying about it. I don't know. That's like, again, I need a little more information here. Did he ask you to and then you immediately cried? Or was it like trying really, 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 really hard and you constantly saying no and then you cried? Because that's different.
So my experience with gay men is minimal. I'm going to admit that right up front. I have a ton of bisexual female friends. I have some non-binary friends. But when it comes to cis men who are gay, I think I've met 2, at least that I'm aware of. In fact, I accidentally stuck my foot in my mouth when I was a youngin', when I was like first or second job out of college, where I was teasing a coworker when he said something, and I said, "Gee, no wonder you can't find a girlfriend." And he said, "It may be, or it could be that I'm gay." And I just looked at him, and I looked at him, I said, "Okay, that could be it too." And just so you guys know, this was the 80s, okay? It was very different then. So just understand.
Wow, I'm surprised they even admitted it in the 80s.
I was impressed. I can go by how I would feel if a partner that I was with told me that they were bisexual. I would do my very best to be as understanding and accepting as possible. How good I would be at that? Well, that remains to be seen. I'd hope I'd do okay with it. I'm not sure I'd want to know the details or watch it.
See, I would watch it.
Now, here's what's interesting. I am starting to be very curious about watching 2 men, and I've seen some porn. I just don't know if I could, how I would feel if it was my partner that I was watching.
See, and that's the thing. To me, that's a cuck. And that's a fetish of mine. So right. I'd be kind of into it.
I don't have any interest in pegging anybody, which makes finding a male submissive a little complicated for me because a lot of them want that. It doesn't interest me. I don't want to do that. I am starting to think about possibly learning to at least massage the prostate with a hand, a gloved hand.
Well, yeah.
Well, let's have nails. I don't need anything stuck under there.
Jesus.
I'm being honest here. Don't shame me in my honesty. It's a shitty thing to do.
Shame. I will shun you for shaming. Shame your
Yeah, that, whatever that is.
Confused.
I've been wondering about that, but one of the reasons that I don't currently have or really have been looking for a male submissive is at least the ones who I've come across, and I know they're not the only kind. I just have had no luck finding the kind that I would like. I do not want to peg anybody, nor do I want to force somebody into bisexual acts. I did vet a potential male sub at one point who one of his kinks was that he wanted me to force him to suck another guy's cock. And that bothered me because if you want to be bisexual, then fucking be bisexual. That it's okay. You get to be that. I'm not going to force you to do it so that you can pretend somehow that you're not bisexual. You were just forced to do it. That doesn't work for me personally.
See, and that was one of the biggest things that I did with one of my first subs. Forcing them into a bisexual situation.
Yeah. As I said, I know that I am probably in the minority with this feeling because many female dominants that I've talked to do love that. I feel like if you want to be bisexual, then fucking be bisexual. And I'm totally okay with that. I would even be more okay if I made you give me oral after a guy came in me, right? Because then I could kind of wrap around my head and then I'm just forcing you to give me oral versus I'm forcing you to eat somebody else's cum. But to make you do something bisexual so that you can claim you were forced into it versus just saying it's what I want to do just isn't something I'm comfortable doing.
Well, here's the other thing. I totally think this person's an asshole just because they said you're not really bisexual because all of your porn history is just women. That means nothing.
No, right? Because first of all, that's the porn history that you know about.
Right.
And maybe they're struggling with the fact that they're doing it. That's just as bad as telling a bisexual woman who's married to a man, well, you can't possibly be bisexual if you're married to a man.
Right. It's not, that has nothing to do with it. So, like, that part is where I think this person is 100% definitely an asshole. There's several other things, but you can't just dismiss somebody's sexuality because you don't think they are.
Right? You can't tell somebody what they are or aren't. Only they can decide it. I'm sort of getting the impression based upon this that this is either somebody who is really struggling with the fact that they also like men, or this is somebody who's really struggling with the fact that they really are just gay and they're trying to pretend that they're not.
And then the other person is struggling with the fact that they're dating a submissive man when they want to be with a dominant man.
Right.
This just seems like a highly incompatible couple.
Yeah. And that I do understand. If you get into a relationship with somebody that you think is dominant, and at least at the beginning of your relationship, they are dominant. And then over time, for whatever reason, they start to develop a submissive mindset and they want to turn submissive. It's very valid for you to say, hey, this isn't working for me. I didn't sign up to be with a submissive partner. I don't feel like a dominant. It's not what I want. That's fine. What's not valid is shaming them for feeling the way they feel.
Yeah, and that's what it feels like is going on here. They're shaming their partner for their sexuality and for changing.
Yeah.
And wanting to explore. I don't like that.
I mean, look, I met somebody over this weekend who had transitioned to be female, and their marriage ended because of it. Their ex-wife supported them and said, hey, this is great. If this is what you need to do to be who you really are, that's awesome. That's fine. I will support you. I don't want to be married to a woman.
Right. If the partner's sexuality is, I'm not a lesbian, I'm sorry, I'm straight, that's
right.
Valid.
And it was interesting. I said to the woman, I said, wow, that's actually kind of cool that she saw you so much as a woman and accepted you as a woman that it wasn't going to work because she wasn't attracted to women.
Right. I think that's actually really cool.
Right. But I do know there's a couple on TikTok who the husband transitioned to female and they are still very much married. And now the original, the original husband's wife is now the wife's wife.
Yeah.
And that works for them. And I say that's great and more power to them. I don't think I could do that, but I would hope similar to this other person that I met that I would be like their ex-wife and say, hey, you do you, boo. I will support you. I will help you. I just can't be married to you because I'm not attracted to women.
I have no idea how I would feel in that situation, but it's not something I really see happening with Daddy J.
Yeah, I don't see it happening with Diesel either. I'm not sure, as gorgeous as he is, I'm not sure how he would look as a female.
Honest to God, I really do want to see him in drag, though. Diesel.
Oh, I can't. No.
That would be hysterical.
Ooh.
For like Halloween or something.
Well, the bald head makes wigs easier, that's for sure.
Right, exactly. Oh, Lord.
God, we're getting really off topic. But anyway, I think this is a case of your partner has changed. And that happens in relationships. Honestly, that's what happened in my second marriage. We grew in different directions. And the two people that we used to be, who used to love each other, the new people we had become as we grew and changed, were no longer feeling the same way about each other. And I'm thinking this is what has happened here. And she needs to accept that. And I'm sorry that he's the moon and stars in your eyes, but he's not the person that you need as a partner anymore. And you're not who he needs as a partner anymore.
No, he needs the gay best friend.
Yeah, right. That makes me wonder.
Clearly.
Not that a gay man could not control himself and not do anything with it, but I do makes me wonder. So anyway, I think we're out of energy to answer any more of these, and we're out of questions.
I've already passed out.
And we're out of questions, but I hope you guys had fun with this, as we always do. Again, if you come across any Reddit on any subreddit that you think would be interesting for us to answer on one of these episodes, please send it our way. In the meantime, please join our subreddit, BDSM_AITA, and post so we can answer more of these questions. Encourage your friends to join and to post. I'd like to make it a very big subreddit if possible. It's one of my many goals. I don't remember if it's one of my New Year's resolutions. I guess we'll have to wait till December to find out when I look back.
All righty.
Bye-bye. Thanks for hanging out with us today. If you enjoyed what you heard, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a minute of our fun and educational content. New episodes drop every Friday.
If you love what we do and want to show support, there are several ways. Join us on Patreon at patreon.com/pinkkinkpodcast. You can support our affiliates or help spread the word about our kinky podcast to your friends.
Don't forget to rate and review Pink Kink on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Those 5-star reviews go a long way in boosting our podcast through the algorithm and reaching more listeners.
Sign up for our Pink Kink Institute classes. Shop at our Etsy shop, Pink Kink Boutique. Stay connected with us on social media. You'll find all the links on our link tree posted in the show notes.
Your support means the world to us. So until next time, stay pretty, stay safe,
and stay twisted.